What's good, Bar? Happy with this race? Good, good. That's nice. Very nice. We are. Oh, it's Lago Maggiore West, so not even the full Lago Maggiore. Interesting. What was the motivation behind doing the shorter track instead of the whole? Bar, you still there? I'm gonna wait a few minutes just to let people in, let people in. East and West, then full. Okay, I don't know the schedule. Wasn't a lot of tracks in Italy, so I decided to mix it up a bit. I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, I guess I'll give it like one more minute and we'll jump into it. Just to give folks a chance to come in. Don't want to miss the start of the race. We got a much bigger grid than last time. Well, no, I think last time we started with 12, didn't we? And then it just fell down. No, no, no. It wasn't that big a start grid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Today we got a big starting grid. Hopefully, people were able to stay connected and stay racing. This Christmas. That's random. I don't know why that's in my head. But here we are. Um, Christmas song in July. Makes sense to me. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have a seat. We're gonna get it started. Let's put the desk down. And the microphone down. Hello, microphone. Excuse me. Forgive me. Give me a sec. I need to mute my TV, but my remote isn't working all of a sudden. Have the batteries given up the ghost? Perhaps. Perhaps they have. All right. Well, let me know if there's like double sound or bleed through from the TV playing. Um, because I don't remember if this TV has. You know what? I'll just see if it has a volume button on the back. Yes. That's not working either. Maybe my TV is just frozen. This TV a little ghetto. I'm not gonna lie. Like this TV is pretty. It's awful. It's awful. Bear with me while I unplug and plug back in my frozen television set. I should have given it back under warranty a long time ago. TV, are you back? Okay, it's responding to the remote again. You guys will be happy to know. The remote is working. Okay, and now I should be able to mute. No? Yes. Okay. Whew. The ghetto. Got a couple new people. Okay, cool. Round 1, you had a big grid. Yeah, it was round 1. Round 2, not so much, but round 3 is a pretty good size here. Excuse me. So let's do the grid walk like I normally do. Oh, it's so slow. Why can't I sprint? All right. So what do we got here? We got GR3 and GR4 mix black banners for the GR3 cars, white windshield banners for the GR4s. Where is your windshield banner? Where? That's me. That's me enforcing the rules. That's the voice I would use if I were a race steward. Anyway, the starting grid is really mixed up. We got a Lambo, then an Alfa, the other Alfa, and then the Ferrari. We've got another Alfa, rather, in the back here. And a final GR3 Ferrari. So pretty mixed up in the front. Well, I guess the Alfas aren't too far off from one another. The GR4 field here is a bit smaller of a choice of cars. Only 2 cars available. We got a Lambo, Ferrari, Lambo, Ferrari, Lambo, Alfa. Wait a minute. There is a GR4 Alfa. Okay. I couldn't remember if there was one. Hey, DBAP. Thanks for the subscription. All right. Well, that's our grid, y'all. That is our grid. So it looks like, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 GR3 cars, and then 5 GR4s. So it makes us a pretty big grid for today. So let's get out of here. Let's go to the start of the race. I want to make sure I can hear that well enough in my ear. I should be able to. Y'all ready? We'll go up to the front runner and press play. This is it. This is it. Standing start. Traction control is allowed, so these cars can get a better launch, though it's not really necessary in these cars. Everyone here has got a mid-engine car, plenty of weight over those rear wheels, and so therefore plenty of grip. But we do see that some people use the traction control perhaps for getting out of corners. So far, so good through turn 1 and 2 into that turn 2 hairpin. Everyone looking good. This is the Maggiorre West layout, so not the full layout, but it is the longer of the short layouts from what I recall. And it has a lot of our favorite features of Maggiorre, including this corner right here, sometimes known as the best corner in the world. Other places call it the big banky turny thing, something like that. Either way, it's a really fun turn to go through, and it looks like everyone gets through it pretty cleanly as I go through the field here. And we're back up to MK coming into this double right-hander to start the final sector. Rather, it starts a little another corner back, my bad, but it is the final sector. Double right-hander, then full throttle here in this left hand to the last corner. And here you don't brake too hard, you just kind of graze them, get the car turned in, apex not too early, and use as much of the track as you want on the outside here to come back into the start finish straight. Ben still leading this race in that Lambo with what looks like a pretty decent gap to second. Nothing crazy, of course, but it doesn't look like Doug in second place is anywhere near him. Doug is being followed very closely by Big Red and Space Dragon. Space Dragon is a new entry. I don't know that name, so I'm guessing Space Dragon's new. And I think Space Dragon, yeah, is in that is in the Alpha. that red one. They're all getting into each other's slipstream, trying to go through this back straight. We've got somebody up the inside there. Who was that? Uh-oh! Ben spun. Ben! Where are you? Why can't I get to you? Ben is spun. So our leader missed the mark. Coming into the corner. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened there. Into the brakes for the corner. I think I can guess what happened. Probably just went wide. And yep, you go wide into that kitty litter and it will catch your car and send it. And that's exactly what happened to Ben there. I don't think he had much of a choice, much of a chance to correct in time. So he's now at the back of the GR3 field. GR4 is coming up, but nothing doing just yet. We do have a little bit of a battle here for second in the GR4s, led by Supra, followed by Bar. This seems familiar from last time. And then Type R is in the race here this time. The Ferrari. Type R was in the race last time as well, but got disconnected. Did not get to finish the race. And then we've got Python, who I believe is also a new name. Happy Puppy in that chrome green Lambo is being chased by Monkey Mafia in the blue GR4 Alpha. So a really good field. I don't want to miss anything though, because look up front. GR3 is still in a heated battle for first. These three were in a battle for second. Of course, we just saw Ben go off, and so we lost him. And now we've got a Ferrari leading two angry, tiny little Alfa Romeos behind it. We're the best Italian car brand. That's what I hear. That's what I hear when I see the Alphas chasing the Ferrari. I'm so sorry. Ooh, Doug looking to the inside into the best corner in the world. Is he going to be able to outbrake Big Red? No, not able to outbrake him. Just trying to throw his line off a little bit. Doug is able to keep momentum and stay right there with him, though, and not lose the position to Space Dragon. So really good driving through that corner. It can be tough to try to make a move or try to scare an opponent in that corner and keep your momentum going up the hill. But Doug doing a good job there. It is a custom BOP, which should help the Alfa Romeo keep up with these larger engine cars, because it's not really known for speed. It's known for handling. Doug having to go defensive against Space Dragon here into the last corner. Space Dragon had peeked inside, but it looks like Doug went ahead and slid in to make sure that that corner was covered. So yeah, it's looking real racy in first through third. Fourth and fifth are right there though. Hairraiser and Vlave both together. They should be catching up with these three fighting one another. I don't want to leave, but GT4 was also kind of close. Ben racing alone after leading that first lap. Supra with a humongous gap. He's on the racing softs, so a huge gap to Type R. Type R is also on the softs though, as well as Python behind. So this battle for second happening here. Bar has to slow down and take a penalty. Bar is also on the mediums, so it's going to have slower overall pace than most of these the GR4 drivers up ahead. Happy Pappy also on the mediums, and then you've got Monkey Mafia way in the back on the softs. Up front, what's GR3 looking like? Yep, all three of these drivers are on the racing softs, so they should have roughly the same pace. That's what BOP is. BOP stands for balance of performance, and you need that when you have a series that has different types of cars, because they make their power in different ways, right? As you can see, the Alfa Romeo is a very tiny little car. It's got a tiny little motor in the back, a little turbo 4-cylinder if I'm not mistaken, and it's made for handling. You can just take a look at that arrow and you can just tell that thing sticks to the ground, and so it makes its lap times up in corners, in braking zones, and that sort of a thing. Now the Ferrari is almost the opposite. It's got a big old V8. This is the 458, not the 488. So it is a naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8. So twice the cylinders, not necessarily twice the power, but definitely a whole lot of torque in that Ferrari. It's a bigger car, a little bit heavier, but you can see it's also made for handling, but it's just going to be faster naturally than the Alfa Romeo, unless there's some huge weight differential that I don't know there. I'm going to pause this educational moment because they're going at it for first here, and yes, it looks like Doug kind of messes Big Red up just enough to get Space Dragon in there. Now it's really a three-way battle. Space Dragon does back off though and decides to stay in third, but I think Space Dragon knows there's a chance coming up as these two fight. there may be something in it for me. And if I'm Space Dragon, I would just stay back and kind of stay out of it and see if they mess each other up enough to let me get in. Anyway, back to balance of performance. So the goal of balance of performance is to get cars that perform very, very differently to perform somewhat equally, right? Because it's not really fun if you're watching a race and one car is just running away from everybody and it's not even a competition, right? So the balance of performance's goal is not to make the cars perform the same. It is to make the cars put together a roughly similar lap time, right? So like I said, these cars are going to make their lap time up in different places. The Alfa is going to be great in the corners. The Ferrari is probably going to be better in a straight line and up these hills. As you can see, this is all lots of elevation change on this racetrack. There's a big uphill run here, then you get into the big corner, and then you've got a steep uphill run. And the Ferrari naturally would be faster than these two cars in that uphill. The balance of performance is intended to make them all do a similar lap time, even if they continue to make that lap time up in different ways. You can see exactly what I was talking about there, because Big Red's got a little bit of a gap on Doug that was not there before they got up that hill. But here's Doug catching up in this double right, because that Alfa is better in the corners. Never mind, Doug slid out, but he was starting to get closer, and that's my point. These cars make their lap time up differently. All right, do we understand balance of performance? Yes, yes. It makes it so that it's more about the driver than it is about the car, though not 100% though. It's still very important how your car makes its lap, because, you know, you're going to excel at different racetracks. Some racetracks are going to be great at, other racetracks your car's going to be trash at, because it's maybe not meant for that type of... Maybe not meant. It's not that it's not meant for it. It's just not great at that type of racetrack or terrain. What's up, Super Ninja? Python was from round 1. Okay. D-Bap sipping on a Jack and Coke. I'm a little bit jealous, but I don't think I can drink and commentate. Doug and Space Dragon have really been going at it for the last few corners. So much so that they've let Big Red pretty much run away. Not that he's completely out of the picture, but these two are going at it side by side almost every corner. I think maybe Space Dragon's just kind of tired of being held up by the two of them. But it's definitely slowed Doug up. It's gotten Doug out of that fight for first place. And now it's a battle specifically for second. Fourth and fifth are still just chilling. Hair Razor doesn't really have Vlave as a problem. Vlave is just chilling behind. Let's check on GR4 real quick. Supra still running away. Type R and Python still at it together. I'm not sure if these two are fighting. It could be that Python is chilling in Type R's slipstream and just trying to save fuel and save those tires up, but not too sure. What have we got going on behind them? Bar, who we saw had to take penalty a few laps ago, is pretty far behind those two and racing all alone. But again, Bar's on those mediums, and so this is probably the best thing for him. Be able to put together the fastest laps possible. There's no one harrowing him from behind. There's nobody holding him up from up front. He should be able to get some really quick laps on the mediums and then jump onto the softs for the last stint or for the final part of the race. I don't know how many pit stops he's going to take. I think, and the last two races, I believe GR4 cars pitted once in the race. But what do I know? Now, what's going on with second and third? Doug is not racing Space Dragon anymore, so we missed something, and we get to go back to see what it was. Ooh. It looks like it was contact. Hold on, let's just see where this started from. We are on board with Space Dragon, and he's really going at Doug, just, you know, staying right there with him, pretty much right up under his wing. Brakes a little bit early there to make sure he doesn't tap into Doug in the last corner. But other than that, in the straight lines and the like, he's touching Doug. I don't know if he's blocking a little bit there. But, ooh, Space Dragon with a really low percentage move into turn 1. That does not work out. And that's what ended that battle there. Let's take a look at it from another angle. The broadcast camera. So Space Dragon just brakes hard, cuts the corner there, and runs across the front of Doug's car and ends up in the wall. Ben is in the pits with a penalty. I wonder if he's got damage. I don't see any damage. I think he's just changing those tires out. I'll keep an eye on that, but that was an unfortunate end to the battle for second place, and I don't know if it slowed Doug down even more. Let's see. Yeah, it did, because Big Red is way up the road now. That's several seconds at this point, so Doug is going to have to try to make up for it. Maybe he's got the pace in that car. Oof. Left tires into the sand pit there, but he's able to get out of it okay without getting spun. Probably got slowed down a little bit more there, but not too bad. He does have Hair Razor behind, though. Hair Razor is right back there looking to make something happen, because now he's in the battle for second all of a sudden, because yes, Space Dragon did slow Doug down with that hit just this last lap, and here comes Hair Razor poking the nose, trying to get into Doug's mirrors, but wasn't close enough to actually make a move, so he tucked right back in there. But look at this. He's looking left, he's looking right, he's making sure that Doug knows that he's there, and hopefully that throws Doug off the game and lets Hair Razor take second and maybe make a play for first. Big Red, meanwhile, chilling, has held on to first. Had a little bit of a battle with Doug at the start there, but Doug was getting harassed and had to start defending. So Big Red's been able to run away with this thing pretty much since maybe 2 or 3 laps after Big Ben's issue. Speaking of, let's go check with Ben. They had pitted. Yep, Ben pitted for the racing mediums. We have seen this before. Ben pits a little bit early, takes the mediums for a stint, and then pops back up into the softs for the end of it. And we've seen wins with that strategy. But let's see what happens this time around, because Ben did take a huge tumble from first into 6th place and has not made up for that just yet. I don't know if he's making up time. He could very well could be getting closer to Space Dragon, or could have been rather before the pit stop. But I don't know what his pace is exactly. It looks like Big Red is starting to pass GR4 cars, so we're starting to see some of the first GR4 cars get lapped. That is Happy Pappy. In fact, Monkey Mafia would have been lapped before Happy even was, but now it's Happy's turn to be in the way of the GR4 cars, of the GR3 cars rather. You see him sticking to the outside there after turn 2, just to make sure that everyone gets past safely. He's got Vlave coming up behind here, and we'll have to move out of the way for them when it is safe to do so, of course. A straight like this is a good place. Vlave goes inside and is easily past the GR4 car and is alongside Hair Razor actually for for the big banky turn. So a little bit of a fight there between Vlave and not Hair Razor, I'm sorry, Space Dragon. But Space Dragon got the better of that. It looks like Vlave did get a little bit out of sorts coming out of the corner, but none the worse for the wear. Just a little bit slower up the hill than he normally would have been. What's this? Hair Razor and Doug still at it. Still here. Is Hair Razor still looking to make a move? He's not at a very aggressive distance from Doug, but is about to get a good bit of slipstream in this front straight here. What's he doing? Is he just chilling back there? Looks like he is just relaxing right now. But we'll make sure that we don't. Ooh. Well, I think Doug outbraked himself there. Hair Razor able to get alongside on the inside for a moment, but I think Doug recovered okay. I don't know for a fact that Doug outbraked himself, but I can only imagine that's what happened, because I don't know why else he would have been so wide in that corner. Let's see what we can see. Oh, I gotcha. Just the right-hand tires in the grass a little bit there. A little bit slow coming out of the hairpin because of that. And that's what got Hair Razor right there next to him. Let's see if we can see where Hair Razor pops up from. Yep, in the grass, and then Hair Razor's able to get underneath for a second, but Doug, like I said, recovered real well and got that thing back on the road ahead of, oops, the other Alpha. So cute little Alpha battle been going on for a while here, and Space Dragon is, I think, getting closer, and so might be right back in this thing. We know Space Dragon has pace. He started towards the front of the grid, but and was holding his own in that battle for second. Ooh, Hair Raiser on Doug into the big bendy turn. Doesn't make anything happen there. Maybe even lost some time, because it looks like Space Dragon is right on him now. So probably lost a little bit of time diving into the inside there. And yeah, he's definitely further away from Doug than when he started. So he's going to need to probably start defending if he doesn't have pace to get away from Space Dragon. He is no longer in a fight with Doug. But Doug's got traffic. It looks like that's GR4 traffic. That's Type R, I think. Doug has to get around. Doug does get around before the last turn. And now Space Dragon's going to be stuck behind for a little bit, and then can get on the gas and get around the GR4 car. Got another one here, Bar up front. And so, ooh, that's giving Space Dragon a little bit of a boost and a move here. That was such a dope angle. I wish I could control the camera angles. I cannot. If you like, we can just see it again, though. Let's just look at it again. It was nice. So here they are through the last corner. I rewinded. Coming up on more GR4 traffic, this is Hair Raiser versus Space Dragon. Space Dragon goes outside, now inside of Hair Raiser. Hair Raiser has Bar right in front. Space Dragon does leave room to let Hair Raiser make the corner, but Space Dragon makes the pass, and now Space Dragon is back into third place and able to try to catch up to Doug, unless Hair Raiser makes something happen here. But good job, good use of the traffic there by Space Dragon to get around his opponent, and they're still dealing with it. That's Python there being passed by Hair Raiser. Meanwhile, Ben chilling in GR3 with medium tires, with no one, completely clear airs around. A little bit of a penalty that he's going to have to serve at some point, but he could probably bleed that off a little bit at a time. Supra, meanwhile, still leads GR4. Got half a tank of gas. The fronts on those racing softs are looking a bit wary. Got more wear on them than the rears for sure. So that's going to become a factor in those lap times. Python also showing a bit more wear in the front than the rear, but I don't think it's as bad as Supra's there. Bar still on those mediums. Type R also on the softs. Not looking that bad. Everyone's got about the same tire wear and the same fuel. Now Bar's got a little bit healthier tires in those mediums, but not as much as I would think. Happy's tires doing great. And Monkey Mafia on those softs also doing fantastic on tires. Did he pit? Because, wow. In any case, what do we got going up front? Ooh, trying to get around traffic. Doug making a sharp move around Supra there. Didn't look like it was intended to be that sharp. Maybe a little confusion about what side he should go on. But now Supra is trying to stay out of the way up the hill and let this GR3 chase keep going. GR3 is pretty spread out now, though. We got Big Red, and then Doug just behind, but you can see that gap to Big Red on the map there, not too small. Hair Raiser also gapped to Doug, and then you've got Space Dragon, who's back in the fourth place. Must have lost that position somewhere. We're not going to go back for the replay. It's probably pretty far back, but Hair Raiser back in the fourth place, where he had made a brilliant pass on, Space Dragon back in the fourth, where he had made a brilliant pass on Hair Raiser not too long ago, right here, in fact, into this corner. How's Ben doing? Still looking good. Still hanging on to that penalty, though I guess right now the priority is not getting rid of penalty. It's getting fast laps. And looks like he might be getting them. We've got a 141 in lap 7. That was a while ago now, so I think that might have been when he pitted. Not too sure. But It doesn't have a P next to it. I think that's broken in replays, so you can't really tell what lap someone pitted. But you can try to glean it from how much time the lap took. Python has a bar coming up in the mirrors. Wonder if bar is going to get much closer here. They are on 2 different tire compounds, but you never know. Well, Hair Razor's right back on Doug now, so Doug's little breath of fresh air was pretty short-lived because he's got somebody right on him again. The racing softs on Doug's car significantly more worn than Hair Razor's, in fact, and that might be a factor into these next few laps here. We're on lap 15, about 20 minutes into this race. It's a 50-minute race, so we're almost hitting the halfway point. Hey, Takao, how are you? And so we should start to see some more pit stops coming up soon from these cars as we get through that to the halfway mark, especially these drivers who are on softs that are getting pretty old. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Long in the tooth. And here's Doug trying to defend from Hair Razor. Hair Razor's looking to go around the outside or make an undercut. Looks like it was more trying to undercut him into the big corner, but Hair Razor really starting to make moves on Doug and let him know, hey, I'm not trying to wait anymore. Here comes Space Dragon. I need to get past you. And Space Dragon, probably hoping that something happens to both of these drivers so he can just inherit second for free. GR3 has been so exciting. The alphas have been going at it, and it's great. So Space Dragon into the pits. I think that's a smart decision, just getting out of the traffic, getting out of all of that. Just go ahead and pit early. The tires are pretty worn out anyway. They're not the worst, but, you know, they're not fresh anymore. Go ahead and pop into some mediums or something and get back out there without traffic, because I don't think Space Dragon's been able to race free this whole time. So Hair Razor and Doug go on, making this a two-way battle here. And I would declare the pit window open at this point, though we're not exactly halfway into the race yet, but we are very close to the halfway mark. Like I said, it's a 50-minute race. We got about 3.5 minutes to get there. Take a sip of water. I'll be right back. She back. Hair Razor has backed off of Doug a little bit here, and I don't know if that's just maybe just had a bad couple of corners or something, or maybe it's slower than Doug in a certain part. It happens sometimes. You have the same car, but you are still different drivers with different skill sets, and you'll find that you're quicker in one section of the track than your opponent, and then, you know, the next section they're quicker, and it's a give and take like that. We call that accordioning. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening, because Hair Razor's just a little bit closer to Doug now. Gonna catch a slipstream and get even closer still into that corner. Ben into the pits, by the way, with just 2% fuel left. I think he's done with that medium stint. Gonna jump on some softs and take some fuel into that Lambo. Not sure if he's gonna hold those softs until the end of the race, or if he's going to take another pit stop beyond that. I'm curious to know what he decides to do. Maybe another stint on mediums to go as long as possible without having to pit. Not sure what he's going to do there. But like I said, here's Hair Razor right back up on Doug after being a bit behind, and I think held on to Doug a little bit better in this final sector this time around. Our leader's in. Big Red is into the pits now. And so concedes first place for now. Doug inherits first, followed by Hairraiser in second. They will be pitting soon as well, though. So we'll see where Big Red comes out. It's got no fuel pretty much in that big Ferrari. Lurking, have a good session. We appreciate the lurkers around here. Big Red comes out with 100% fuel in the Fezza. That makes sense to me because we're not exactly halfway through the race, and that fuel was very low, so it looks like it does take a whole other tank to make it through. And he comes out just ahead of Space Dragon, which probably frustrated the hell out of Space Dragon, but Space Dragon still needs to pit. Oh, actually he doesn't. I forgot Space Dragon pitted, so yeah, that's got to be annoying to have someone come out just ahead of you. That said, Space Dragon's gonna be on warmer tires than, ooh, hey Cal, thanks for the host. Gonna be on warmer tires than Big Red, but ooh, what just happened there? As I looked away, Space Dragon gets out into the kitty litter. It almost sends the car. He holds on to it, but it severely slowed him down. Yeah, he's hitting 110 up that hill. Big Red is closer to 130. Doug into the pits. So Big Red out of the pits ahead of Space Dragon and gets a lucky break and is able to get back ahead here. Now Doug is in the pits as Big Red comes around the final corner coming up here, and I think Doug's gonna have to put a lot of fuel in that car. So Big Red should come back out ahead of Doug. Hairraiser didn't pit, of course, so Hairraiser's still out there in first place, pretty far ahead of Big Red, in fact, but not far enough that he'll be able to pit and take fuel and come back out ahead again. So Big Red, you know, anything can happen. I'm not gonna. Oh wait, this is pre-recorded, not live. I can't curse it, so anything can happen. Big Red could mess up a lap, and then Hairraiser pits and is able to come back ahead and still own first place. But we'll find out in a little bit here. I'm guessing Big Red did take those mediums when he pitted. Space Dragon also took the mediums. Doug also on the mediums. Ben is on another set of mediums from that second pit stop there. And Ben is really shredding through these tires, man. I mean, going for it. Can we see who's got the fastest lap so far? Let's check that real quick. It's actually Big Red. Big Red with a 1:21.238 so far. Ben's best time, in the meantime, make sure I follow through, is a 1:21.642. So about 4/10 slower is Ben than Big Red. But I mean, eating them tires. Just killing these laps. Hairraiser's in. Hairraiser's in. Big Red does get past, as does Space Dragon, as does Doug. So Hairraiser comes out and is in fourth place. How close to Doug is he coming out of here, though? He was in third and fighting for second before everyone pitted. And now he is coming out way in fourth. Doug is way up the road there. I believe that is Doug right there. Yes. Going through the same section pretty much through the S's there. So Hairraiser with a lot of time to catch up. Starting to see some GR4 pit bar coming through with the all pink and blue, pink and violet pit crew. I like that. I really like the look. It's giving me 90s. Love it. Supra also into the pits. That's the GR4 leader, and he is going to come out ahead of Bar. Bar is still fueling up there. You see that fuel counter counting up for Bar, and he comes out on the softs with 86% fuel. Doesn't fill it up. Supra did fill it up, so curious to see what Bar's strategy is here. Meanwhile, Happy going past the pits. This is going into turn one and has not pitted just yet. Type R has pitted. It looks like it's got lots of fuel in that car, and semi-new Racing Medium's Monkey Mafia just now pitting. Has pretty new racing softs on that car, but it needs to take fuel. Ooh, Big Red has a Space Dragon problem. Okay, so if you recall, Big Red had come out of the pits just ahead of Space Dragon, and Space Dragon made a very big mistake in the best corner of the world, which they're approaching now, which cost them a whole lot of time, but it looks like Space Dragon's been able to catch right back up to Big Red, and is looking to make a move on the outside. Big Red goes defensive. Space Dragon outside there, just going to keep momentum, just going to stay in that slipstream up the hill. Not a bad play. It's kind of hard to make a move on the outside in that corner, especially if you're not sure you can trust the other driver. And so Space Dragon doing a fantastic job of just keeping that car together and keeping it right in the slipstream. They're coming up on traffic here. This is Type R. This is the GR4 car. Ooh, a tap there between Big Red and Type R. Big Red's going to need to be patient. I know he's in a battle, but the GR4 car can't let you pass until it's safe. Both cars passed safely. Space Dragon does a really great job of staying right there with Big Red. Big Red into the pits for what? He's on the mediums. He had just taken those. Just came out. I'm not sure what this pit stop is for, but that's giving Space Dragon first place. Doug is in second, followed by Hair Razor, who isn't that close. Ben also pitting again. I guess it's a very short stint on the mediums. Big Red comes out on Racing Soft. So just a really short medium stint for Big Red in fourth place there, and is now going to go probably the rest of the race on softs. There's 20 minutes left in the race there. So he's going to see if he can get some faster laps than the other GR3 cars as they are still on mediums. So Big Red going for a faster overall race time here. Ben back out of the pits on softs as expected. So like I thought, Ben was going to take a third pit stop to get on the softs here. Python is in the pits. First stop of the race for the Lambo driver. And he's on the softs, going to come out on the mediums. Monkey Mafia was on the mediums and should be able to come out. Well, no, he was on the softs before. I guess he's in the mediums now, and now comes out on the softs again. Okay, so a pit stop in there that I had not seen. Space Dragon just past pit lane is staying out on the mediums. Ooh, and he is passing Monkey Mafia, who is just out in the grass for a little bit of a ride there. Still out in the grass. Is this lag or what is going on? Let's go back. Let's go back and see what's happening to Monkey here. Wide into the hairpin and then just gets caught out in the grass there. Interesting. I don't know what's going on with the way that car is handling, but he is able to ease it back onto the road, but then stays out here. This almost seems like a broken wheel, a controller, like the car's not able to steer. Maybe, yeah, he's not making right turns. So he's barely making right turns. Interesting. Man, that sucks. He's getting passed left and right, though. Meanwhile, Space Dragon still up front. Is he going to pit for softs now that Big Red has done so? Big Red is the competition. Ooh, that was Doug getting way out into the kitty litter there on the left-hand side, on the outside of the big banky turn. We can see him. I think it was all four tires, so pretty slow progress. Yep, all four in there. He kept a little bit of momentum, but that would have slowed him down for sure. Big Red has led for most of this race since Ben's accident. So him pitting for those softs probably should have been a cue for everyone else to maybe jump on him too. But they're probably hoping those softs won't last till the end of the stint, which is a pretty fair gamble. He took them with 20 minutes to go. They will probably fall off significantly by the 20-minute mark. Ben, meanwhile, has gotten up to 5th place because we lost someone. We lost Vlave, and I'm not sure when it happened. But that gave Ben 5th place. So Ben still has not really been in the fight for GR3 since spinning very early on in the race here. But we've still got a lot of racing to go. About 18 minutes, 17 really. And anything can happen. We're looking at GR4 right now. Python up behind Bar. Supra is also missing. So we've lost Supra at some point. I just saw their car, so it wasn't that long ago. We've lost a driver, one driver from each class here. But yeah, Python chasing Bar, and then not too far behind is Type R, or is that a was that a pass that I just missed? Let's see. Yeah, because here's Python. He is chasing Bar. Oh, and then here comes... Okay, not a pass position. That's just Space Dragon. Okay, my fault. I thought that was a GR4 car. Nope, that's just a GR3 car coming in to break up the battle. But Python giving room there. Space Dragon, of course, is trying to get out of here as fast as possible. Get as quick a set of laps on those mediums as possible. Still not going in. I still haven't seen anyone else in GR3 follow Big Red's lead and go take the soft. So Big Red either has the genius strat or too soon, Junior. Right? You know, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's a Fast and Furious okay, never mind. Y'all young. Let me stop. I didn't even give you a chance to answer. I'm sure you got the reference. Space Dragon still up front, having got past a gaggle of GR4s. Now it's Doug's turn to try to get through them. First, going to try to get around Python. Should be able to get around quickly, and does, and should be able to get up that hill up towards the Bar at any moment. I'm going to take another sip of water, y'all. My throat messing up. Thoke. Thoke is my throat. Might be getting some sound bleed. Let me fix that. What do we have? Doug past the GR3s. Big Red racing alone right now on softs. Probably the best scenario when you're on the fastest tires, to have nobody to bother you and race you. Hairraiser is in 4th place with a penalty, and so hasn't really caught up to the pack since pitting very, very late in the stint. But again, Hairraiser will have the youngest mediums, if that's a thing that's going to matter towards the end. I do think that these GR3 cars are going to jump on the softs again. Though, I don't know. I don't feel like the pit lane is that long around here. It might be a quick jump in for tires and jump back out. But so far, they're all staying out on the mediums except Big Red and Ben, of course. Ben looking at Type R here, going to try to get around as soon as he's able. Takes the inside through the hairpin. It should have the inside for turn 3 pretty easily done there. Here's Bar leading GR4 with no one around, no one to bother him. Supra was the opponent for much of this race, but we lost Supra a few laps ago. And so Bar racing alone. Python looking at GR3 coming through here. That's just Ben, and Ben gets around very easily. And then the rest of GR4 is racing alone. I am going to give my voice a little bit of break, and I'm going to let y'all just listen to the sounds of the race. You can really hear there's a lot more character in the engine note. Ooh, Ben almost losing it there, but held on to it. Just got pretty lucky. But anyway, you can hear the character in the engine notes of the Lambo and the Ferrari, whereas that Ben is paused here. I wonder what's going on there. But the Alpha doesn't have too much character in its note. That turbo robs it of a lot of its exhaust sounds, so you don't hear the roar of that surely very high-strung four-cylinder. I think racing four-cylinders actually tend to sound pretty great, but you can't really hear this one. Hair Razor's pretty laggy here, so let's go listen to a different one. It's a pretty muted sound out of Doug's Alpha versus Big Red's Ferrari, which is naturally aspirated. No turbos at all, just pure exhaust sounds. It's also a 12-cylinder, so it's going to sound different altogether, but you are going to hear more character in that sound. And it's a lot louder. But anyway, who's this? Type R being approached by traffic. That traffic is Space Dragon. He got past Monkey Mafia, now looking to get past Type R, and is still on those mediums. Big Red, again, took the softs a little while ago, and has been putting together, let's see, pretty high, just some high 21s, 21.7s, 21.8s, a couple 21.6s versus Space Dragon, who's putting together 22s at this point. So Big Red definitely carrying more pace, but how long is that going to hold up while he's on the softs and Space Dragon and the rest are on the mediums? Though these mediums are kind of worn, both Space Dragon and Doug. And so they're still holding on, but you can see Big Red's right there. Big Red's not that far from Doug. Not exactly close yet, but there's still 7 minutes of racing. I don't know if that's enough to catch up, even at his pace, but he's definitely catching up to Doug, and probably, well, I can't say he's not too far from Space Dragon. I can't even see Space Dragon from Doug's view here. Granted, this is kind of a tight section. Let's see if we can see him in the straight. I think that's him way, way ahead in the straight there. So I don't think there's a chance for Big Red to get back up into first place and catch Space Dragon at all here, but there's definitely a chance that he could catch Doug. It's just going to take a lot of good laps to do it. So it's not really looking like the strategy to take an extra pit stop and grab those softs is working out for Big Red, because again, he was leading. He was in first place, came out in a battle for first with Space Dragon and probably could have kept that, but he decided to pit in and take those softs, and hasn't really recovered from it. But like I said, he's not ridiculously far away either, not from Doug at this point. Look, that last time up this hill, Doug was almost all the way up the hill before Big Red hit the corner. This time they were about Big Red was about a quarter of the way up when Doug was three-quarters of the way done. So they're a lot closer here, and we have a few more laps left, so they're just going to keep creeping closer. Look how close he is to Doug there. So Doug probably would have been looking at that split time and noticing Big Red getting closer and closer and realizing I'm probably going to have to battle to keep this position. Only got 5 more minutes to hold on to it, 5.5 more minutes to have to hold on to it, and the battle hasn't started yet, but Doug is going to want to do things that aren't like that and put together some very fast lap times to try to stay away from Big Red as fast as possible. Oof, unfortunately, he's got a half-second penalty that he's now got to find space to get rid of, and that's definitely going to hurt his chances of defending against Ben. Now look, Ben is definitely approaching as Doug is in the corner. Ben's in the braking zone, so I think there is nothing Ben can really do about getting past here for second place. Where is Space Dragon? Space Dragon's pretty far up the road from both of these drivers, though he's now hitting the big bend, and Big Red and Doug are in the straight. So Doug not as far, Big Red not as far from Space Dragon as I thought, but we are definitely running out of race. What's going on with GR4? Bar still in the lead. Python, Python way wide and into the wall. It's got Ben right behind. Luckily, Ben is not fighting him, so Python easily out of the way after that big mistake there. Type R also racing alone. Happy Pappy, Monkey Mafia has been racing along this whole race, so there's nothing really to see in GR4. Big Red still being held up by by Doug. I think Doug is defending. Ooh, and Big Red swings it around and almost loses it. Ends up in the grass. That Ferrari, known for doing stuff like that, but it looks like Doug took the advantage. You know what? Let's give me a second. Let's just watch this happen again. A little bit of a tap between the two of them. And yeah, Big Red really lucky that Ferrari didn't go all the way around on him. And I think that's when Doug decided to take advantage of Big Red's mistake there and try to take that penalty. But the mistake wasn't that bad, and that does let Big Red get past. You're going to see right here. Here comes Doug slowing down because he's thinking, oh, Big Red's in the wall. Nope, Big Red's right there. And Big Red makes that pass into turn 1 pretty easily. However, y'all are inside of each other. Big Red does have a penalty that he's going to have to get rid of now. Did he get rid of it? Was that slowdown? Jesus, these two are really going at it. Let's take a look at this from Big Red, because he definitely picked up a penalty there. Yep, he picks up half a second, and he takes that penalty right there in the racing line. Trying to defend the corner, probably not the best as far as sportsmanship goes. I would look at that as a steward, trying to figure out why did you decide to take your penalty into the racing line, and why did you decide to block the driver who was going at full speed. So yeah, not a very clean move, not a clean way to take your penalty there at all, and could have caused both of these cars to wreck in turn 1 if he hadn't been translucent. In any case, Doug holds on to second place for the time being. They're going to have to go a few more laps around, though. Big Red is going to want to be a bit more patient about making this pass, and Big Red is around. That car is whipping back and forth on him, rear end whipping back and forth, and he's out of it. He's out of the battle with Doug for now. He may still be able to catch up, but made a big mistake on braking into the turn here. I think I don't know if he starts skidding before he touches the grass on the inside, or if touching the grass on the inside started the skid. I'm guessing just the rear end of that Ferrari left him. He's got some tire wear in the rear. Yeah, I think it's just the Ferrariing. He's going to have to brake more in a straight line. We talked about this, I think, last week. He's going to have to keep that rear end together until the end of this race. But that just lost him this battle for second, and he's got a few corners before he can catch back up to Doug to try again. In the meantime, those softs are getting worse and worse, especially in the back. We can see now that rear left looks significantly more worn than the rest of, not significantly, but more worn than the rest of the tires. And so he's going to have to be sensitive about the back end of that Ferrari when he's braking for corners, because that's the second time that we've seen it come around on him. But Doug must be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. He's not in the clear yet. Ben is still pretty close. Ben is still on the faster tire, and it's got similar tire wear. But so far, Doug's been able to defend this position pretty well. Not undue to Big Red making some really bad driving mistakes. Yeah, I was taking a break. Thank you, Takal. I needed to just let y'all listen to the race. Here's Hair Razor making the pass on Type R. That's a GR3 passing a GR4 and not a pass for position. But Hair Razor really has never gotten back into the race after battling for so long for second place and then inheriting first a little bit during the pit window, but came out in fourth and has stayed in fourth the whole time. He's not even close to anyone up there. Big Red, surprisingly not that much closer to Doug than he was when we just saw them come through here last lap. So I wonder if either those tires are starting to slow him down or if he's slowing down because of fuel. Because no, I think he's got plenty of fuel left. He's probably gonna have to go another lap around here. Space Dragon, meanwhile, has got to be celebrating mentally after fighting for so long for everything but first, but has pretty much held on to it since the pit stops. Big Red did come out ahead of him for a bit, but they did battle and Big Red pitted, and now Space Dragon's been in first for a while, and doesn't look like there's any traffic coming up behind him. That is Python in a GR4 car, so not a threat, not a single GR3 car in the camera frame from Space Dragon's car. So he's just got to keep the car together and take it home. We've got 15 seconds till the race ends, and I think it's going to hit the 50-minute mark before, yes, it will. It will hit it before Space Dragon crosses the start-finish line. So this is going to be the final lap. Space Dragon should take the checkered flag here. Yep, there it is coming out for Space Dragon, and that is a win for that driver. Ben and Barr just passed through the finish line for their final lap as well, and then we are waiting for everyone else to come through, and they should finish in the order they're in. There's Doug. There is Big Red right behind, probably wishing there was another lap, but there was not another lap. Space Dragon crossed the line just in time. That saves Doug. Doug takes second place despite being chased down and hounded by Big Red on faster tires. Hair Razor will come in fourth place here. He's coming into the last corner. And then Type R and Monkey Mafia also starting to come into the final two corners to end this 33-lap race at Maggiorre West. It was a pretty good race. There's some good battles in there, y'all. Some good battles. It's a pretty fun track. I love racing at the Maggiorre tracks. I think they're great because they have like lots of passing opportunities and the like, and because you can really see how different cars and different drivers shine through them out. Got my first win. Congratulations, Bar. To Cal. I'm not repeating that joke out loud. I'm just not. I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, great race. We'll see y'all next week with another one, of course. Can't wait for that. This one will be available on the GTRC YouTube by tomorrow. I'll get that uploaded. So thank y'all for watching again. I really appreciate you for coming through. Y'all are the best. Have a good night.